Friends, now that we have seen super sense smell, we are going to see the next super sense, that is sight. And the sense organ used here is eyes. Now, just like we learned a new word during smell, olfactory receptor, we are going to learn a new word here, and that is retina. Let's say once more together, retina. Now, the purpose of retina is to receive light and convert the light into signals. Just like the olfactory receptors, they converted the smell into signals for the brain. Similarly, retina will convert light signals for the brain to understand what we are seeing. Okay, now let's go ahead. Let's read page 6 from our textbook. Let's see. Write name of a bird which has eyes in front of its head, just like we humans do. Now we have eyes in the front of our head, not on our sides. We have our ears on the side of our head, but our eyes, nose and mouth are in the front of our head. So do we know any bird which has eyes in the front of its head? And yes, it's an owl. If you look at the picture of an owl, or if you have ever seen owl in real life, you can see that the owl has both the eyes in the front of its head. And if you notice carefully, they are really large eyes. In fact, for the size of its head, the eyes of owl are much bigger. All right. Next, we have to write names of some birds which have eyes on either side of their head. Now, owl, just like us humans, have eyes in the front. But most birds, if you see, they have eyes on the side of their head. Okay. And what size is their eyes? Let's see. So pigeon, sparrow, crow, chickens, any other bird if you see, you can see that their eyes are on the side of their head. And compared to their head, their eyes are little small, like little beads if you can say. Not like the owl. The owl has really big eyes compared to its head. But these other birds, their eyes are on the side and they have small bead-like eyes, really small eyes, right? Most birds have eyes on either side of their heads. Their eyes can focus on two different things at one time. So what happens is, because they have eyes on the side of their head, one eye can look at what's there to the left, one eye can see what is there to the right. So continuously they are able to see at both sides of their head, and therefore able to see the large area. When they look straight ahead, both their eyes focus on the same object. Now, because these birds have eyes on the side of their heads, you often see that the birds will move their necks, right? In most cases, these eyes are fixed and cannot move, right? So the birds have to move their heads to see around. So you feel like you feel that the actions are very comic when the bird starts to shake its head in order to see what is going around, right? Now we will try to do this together. Looking with one or both eyes. Close your right eye and cover it with your hand. Tell your friend to stand to your right at some distance. Ask him to make some action. Wave a hand, shake head, something. Could you see your friend's action without moving your neck? Now try to look at your friend's action with both eyes open, but without moving your neck. What was the difference on looking with one and both eyes? Now, when you had closed your right eye and your friend was also standing to your right, maybe you had to turn your head a little slightly so that your left eye can focus and look at the friend's action. But when you opened both your eyes, you did not have to move your neck that much, isn't it? So when we see with both eyes, we can say that we can see a wide range of objects. Okay, so if you're covering one eye, maybe your eyesight is little bit, or range of your eyesight is little bit limited. Now toss a small ball or a coin and try to catch it. Try this with both eyes open. Then close one eye and try to catch it. When was it easier to catch? Now obviously it will be easier to catch when we have both our eyes open, because with both our eyes we can focus better. Now imagine, how would it be if you had your eyes in place of your ears? So instead of your ears at the side of your head, you had your eyes. What would you be able to do then, which you cannot do right now? Maybe like we saw in the previous slide, just like the birds who have eyes on the side of their head, if we had eyes on the side, we can see to our left and right without turning our head, isn't it? Right now, because we have eyes at the front of our head, we can look straight ahead and maybe some part of on your left and some part on your right. But if you have to really look what is there to the right, you have to turn your head, isn't it? But if your eyes are on the side, you can directly see what is there on the right and left without actually turning in that direction. And just like the birds, we can see at a wider range of objects, isn't it? Now, do animals see color? Yes. So our human eye, it's almost like a camera, isn't it? We can say our eyes are like a camera. With our eyes, we can see so many wonderful colors of flowers, pictures, and everything that around us, trees, sea, can see so many different shades of colors. But animals, it is, not all animals can see so many colors as we can. In fact, if you look at trees, the leaves of trees, you can even tell which shade, like light green leaves or dark green leaves, you can tell the shade of each leaf, right? But for animals, they don't see so many colors. See how things in these pictures will be seen by some animals. Now if you look at our human eye, we can see multiple shades, isn't it? Birds, if you see, they can see some color, and for dogs it is almost in two colors, you can say. There they can see white, some part of green, and in other insects or in other animals it's almost black or white. Okay, it is believed that animals that are awake in the daytime can see some color, and those animals that are awake at night can see only black or white. So it makes sense also, because animals during daytime, they can see some color and they can distinguish between it, but at night time, nighttime animals may not really need to see the colors, isn't it? Okay, now here we are going to see some additional information. We saw eyes that are there in the front of the head, and then we saw some animals which or birds which have eyes on the side of their head. So we are going to see the benefits of each type of eyes. Okay, so when both eyes are in the front of the head, it is called as front vision or binocular vision. And when eyes are at the side of the head, it is called as side vision or monocular vision. This is again additional information, but it will be helpful. Okay, so once more, when eyes are at the front of the head, it is called as front vision and or binocular vision. When eyes are at the side of the head, it is called side vision or monocular vision. When eyes are in the front, both eyes work together to focus on a single point or object. When you have both eyes open, you're looking at the same thing at the same time, both eyes. But when eyes are on the side, they can focus on different objects separately, isn't it? When eyes are at the front, it helps the brain to understand exactly the distance between the object. Now, when you're focusing on one object with both eyes, it helps your brain to understand correctly how far the object is. But when the eyes are on the side, Maybe the animal will not be able to tell how far the object is, but it can see definitely a wide range of objects. Now, why is it useful? Now, all carnivorous animals and birds have binocular vision. So, all the animals who hunt other animals for food, they will have binocular vision. Why? Because like we said, it focuses on the single point, in this case the animal they are trying to hunt, and it also tells them the distance that they need to run or fly down before they can catch the animal. And all herbivorous animals and birds have monocular vision. Now these are the animals that need to be aware of the predators around them. Like for example, a deer needs to be aware if there is a tiger around, or a smaller bird needs to be aware if there is eagle, vulture, or owl around it, isn't it? So definitely a monocular vision is helpful because they can see a wide range of objects. And for carnivorous animals and birds, binocular vision is helpful because it can tell them the distance and accurately help them focus on their prey, right? So this type of vision or binocular vision helps the carnivore to hunt food, whereas monocular vision helps the herbivorous animal to escape an attack from the predator. Now, example of monocular vision is tiger, lion, eagles, owl, and humans. And for monocular vision is deer, cow, pigeon, and chicken. Okay. Now this is again additional information, but based on the type of eyesight that we discussed. So this is additional information about monocular vision and binocular. Now let's quickly discuss what we have learned so far. We saw that to make sense means to understand something. We have 5 senses that help us to hear, see, smell, taste, and touch. Our senses help us in everyday life and to understand and interact with each other. Then just like us, animals also have senses, but in most animals we saw that one or more sense is more sharp, and this sharp sense is called a super sense, and it helps the animal to survive in its environment. We discussed about dogs, ants, mosquitoes, bees, who use their sharp sense of smelling to identify group members and threats and food. Okay, and then we also saw about eyes. Next super sense we discussed was eyes, and we saw that some animals have eyes in the front of the head and some have on the side, and we also saw what are the benefits of these type of eyes. Okay, with this we will stop here for part 1. The next super senses that are there, that is ears, that we will discuss in part 2. Okay. Thank you for staying and listening to Super Senses Part 1. For Part 2, click on the next video. Also, if you liked this video, please click like and subscribe to the channel for more videos and updates. Thank you.